Greetings, groovy people! Blue Dragon here with the weekly Wednesday video, and this time I felt like doing a list. I so often in my videos begin lists of random things only to go off on a Word of Wednesday tangent and kind of peter off and never finish counting. Numbers aren't my strong point. I can't number. Apparently I can't even count. Anywho, while I'm puttering around, sketching an Act 7 page in the background from my free, not safe for work webcomic, Dark Horse, I'm going to share with you all my top 5 favorite YouTube channels I watch to learn drawing, inking, manga-ing techniques, things of that nature. I have a lot of channels that I watch and that I love, but these are my top 5. I will have all of these channels linked down below in the description, along with links to my comics and the blog that I never update anymore. Okay, let's get started. Number 5, DokiDoki Drawing. This channel may be number 5 on my list, but this channel is so freaking helpful. I ranked it at 5 because while I love to watch it and I like to learn from the amazingly skilled professional mangaka that are on there, the videos are in Japanese with English subtitles, and therefore they require my full attention when I'm viewing them. Now, that's actually a good thing, because if you're going to learn from something, you really should give it your undivided attention. And I'd also say repetition is important as well, watching something more than once or reading something more than once, because you're not going to get everything the first time, and even if you did, it's going to not stick necessarily. But the result of that is, though, because I do have to read the subtitles, I don't usually have much or as much time to devote to this channel as I should, due to my own time constraints with all the projects and stuff that I'm working on. So generally when I'm watching videos, it's kind of in tandem with drawing, inking, toning, or updating my websites or social media, or sometimes, puttering around is the theme of the video today. Puttering around on the forums. So I'm usually doing a couple things at once. So that's one of the things that's prevented me from putting this higher on the list personally. But I still watch this channel, and it is so educational, and it really has great tips for beginners, intermediate, and advanced manga or comic artists. There are a lot of guest artists, many of whom are actual professionals. They work professionally on manga. And if you aren't fazed by subtitles or you speak Japanese, I definitely recommend this channel. I've tried to start setting aside time to devote to watching and furthering my education so that I can become a better artist. And I recently picked this back up. I found it a while back, but I've been watching more of the videos recently, and I recommend it if those, if subtitles don't impede your learning experience. Number 4, Kasey Golden. She's been kind of coming up a bit in passing comments. I've kind of dropped her name a couple times in some of my videos. And this week, I want to make it official that she has made this list, because she really has been helping me improve and step up my game, particularly with the Whimper in the dark. But as I've said in this video I card here, I've also used these techniques that I've been learning to apply them to Dark Horse in places. So the Whimper in the Dark, by the way, is my other comic that I work on occasionally. I don't work on it as much, but yeah, I want to talk about how my inking skills they have been a bit shit in the past. I'm still not that great of an inker, but watching her videos, especially her Inktober and a lot of her other videos where she's just creating a lot of different designs, and it's kind of forcing her to think of new ways to do things. The way that she adds texture using pen, even if it's like a mechanical pen or, like a micron pen or something of that nature, those techniques I still find helpful because I do occasionally use those types of pens, and they really help me also improve my design and trying to figure out composition. The way she uses negative space in some of her images, I just find her to be very skilled, and there's so much that I've been learning just by watching what she creates, her different characters and different images. I also love how funny she is. Dry humor is probably my favorite type of humor, that and self-deprecation. I'm with the Brits, okay? I like their sense of humor. I like that. I mean, American comedy is funny also. I don't want to knock our comedy. I laugh the fuck out of a lot of our comedians. But my personal favorite type of humor is just that kind of dry, that type of presentation, for lack of a better word. She also makes her videos just so enjoyable, just great at creating simplified characters and designs, as well as adding a lot of detail, and these are skills that I'm trying to learn myself. So, oh yeah, and she's not afraid to draw side boob or bottom boob or boobs. Boobs. I like it. Blue Dragon approves of boobs. They exist and we need to get over it. Boob. Okay. Wow, that went to a weird place. Let's move on. Number 3. Holy shit, it's Mckay Gray. What can I say? That fucking amazing indie comic couple who loves animals? Why, yes please, I'll watch your amazingly helpful, fun, educational YouTube videos. These people are fucking amazing. Did I say that already? Because I think it needs to be reiterated. Remember how I said repetition is important? Yeah, they're amazing. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Bones and Ursula are a married couple who have been successfully creating indie comics and sharing the love with insight on how they've fostered their skills and how they've grown their community. Ursula is so sweet and her inking is fantastic. Now, she does primarily digital art for their comics, but in her videos where she's learning how to use ink and using traditional mediums more, they just fucking blow me away. She's like, oh, this is like my first time doing it. I'm like, what? You're amazing. I mean, you know, everyone's got varying degrees of what they consider great work, but from my position, her work was awesome. Bones is the writer. He is another one of those people that has like a very dry sense of humor, and I just love him. Very no nonsense, except for, you know, when he wants to have a little bit of nonsense, you know, just for funsies. But I just like, I think they have a good chemistry. I guess they would. I mean, it doesn't always guarantee that people are. Anyway, I digress. But I've read at least one of their comics all the way through. I loved it. I started another one of theirs, but I need to catch up just because I have so much work to do, and I'm subscribed to so many comics. I just, you know, I rarely get time to just read comics anymore. So you'll have to help me, you guys. Help me find time. Just kidding. Don't cry for me. First world problems. I can't read comics. Anyway, that's not funny.
That's not funny!
Anyway, yeah, they have tutorials, they have pep talks, motivational discussions, workshops, all kinds of community support and involvement. I just love them, and you can tell they really care about their craft. They're a great team, and they both just really, they really inspire me to keep going. When I get down and I think I'm never going to take off or I'm never going to be successful, I mean, yeah, I do this for myself, obviously, but I do want to share my work and if I can make a living off of it. But whenever I start getting down, if I tune into their videos, I know that I'm going to learn something, I'm going to enjoy the discussions, and I'm going to pick myself up and keep going. They are treasures to the YouTube indie comic community, and I think enough said. Number 2 is MyMangaka Life. I fucking love Mama Mushroom. I mean, I like any kind of mushrooms. I mean, I even did a whole video on it. And oh shit, Oregon just made shrooms legal. Holy shit. Anyway, mushrooms. Upper right corner, I talk about mushroom hunting. That Cowboy Bebop episode, mushroom hunting, one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Shit, I digress. God damn it. Sorry, gosh damn it. Anyway, MyMangaka Life is... I can't even begin to explain her channel other than like fucking fantastic. First, I will say she's got fucking mad crazy energy. She's a beacon of light, love, and positivity. And aside from just being awesome, this chick has the insane fucking skills to back it up. Her art is gorgeous. She's self-published and her art is amazing. It reminds me a lot of Kaori Yuki, whom I was kind of obsessed with for a while there. Godchild and the Cain Saga in particular, but Angel Sanctuary, Fairy Cube. It's kind of that gothic Victorian style. And let me tell you, Miss Jimenez, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I pronounced her last name incorrectly. But she gives Yuki a run for her fucking money. This woman's art is gorgeous. And what's more is she has in-depth videos that delve into how to create your own traditionally drawn and inked manga. If you don't watch her How to Make Manga series, you really don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I can't really do her credit just with these words, but like she goes into like the history of dip pens. She dips into the history of dip pens. That's a bad joke. I'm so sorry. It's really late. I just felt like recording. I should be in bed, but I wanted to do this after writing it. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to do this. But yeah, she gives you a blow by blow of all you need to know. From speech bubbles, how much space to leave, how much text you should put in them, when you should use the big boy bubbles. She talks about screen tones, she talks about character designs, atmosphere, story writing, planning, storyboarding, thumbnailing, sketching, everything, so much. If you like high energy YouTubers, if you like that gothic Lolita, not to be confused with Lolicon, not here, but gothic Lolita, that kind of fashion style, and if you like traditional manga, I cannot recommend her enough. I myself am rewatching her series because there's so much that I wasn't ready to process through the first viewing. I mean, it's top notch, her art is. So I'm rewatching those as I find time. There's so much that I know I've missed. And she's just amazing. What else can I say? And my number one absolute favorite for learning how to draw manga and doing comics, it's Mark motherfucking Crilley. That's who it is. Of course it fucking is. The Mark Crilley. I'm so sorry. This man, I don't know where to begin. He can draw anything. He can make it look real. He can draw mushrooms. Fucking mushroom video. It all comes back to the mushrooms. I am so goofy. I'm sorry, you guys. I want to have fun with these videos. I know that they probably bore most people, and I apologize for that, but I'm having fun, so I hope that engenders some positivity in your life. Anyway, whatever. I guess you only have one life. You only live twice? Oh no, I'm thinking of Sean Connery. Anyway, back to Mark Crilley. God, he can draw anything, and he's going to show you how to do it too. You too can learn to do the same, or at the very least, an approximation of what he does. When I lost the manga tutorials community, it took me years to find another senpai to help me work on my comic. I talk like I know the dude personally. It's not like that. obviously. But I used to really rely on that community. We kind of worked together, we would give critiques, and in some cases people would draw red lines over my drawings and help me visualize how my proportions were off. And when the host disappeared and the domain and website eventually became defunct, our community dissolved aside from a handful of people. I have a friend who was the head of one of the D&D threads that I still talk to, and I think there's a couple members that we occasionally get together and watch films and chat online, not in person. But, I lost track of pretty much all the artists in that community. So for a few years, I just kind of gave up looking for tutorials. I mean, I was kind of in a bad way for a while there. I don't want to get into that. So it wasn't until, probably around 2013, maybe a little later. Maybe it was more 2015. I don't remember dates all the time. I can remember Lincoln dates, but I can't remember my own dates. But I stumbled upon Mark Crilley's channel, and he just... his YouTube channel was a game changer. It was like a life changer almost for me, because I started getting motivated again to work more on my comic. Like, I always wanted to do it, but I don't know, he just helped revitalize me a little bit. And you can tell he's a teacher because of how he is clearly able to explain and delineate how to construct faces and bodies, how to tackle a figure or object, and he goes step by step with this. And the dude is just so goddamn likable. He's like the Bob Ross of manga drawing. US manga drawing. I find his humor to be very funny. I like the voices that he does. I like the surfer dude. He has a couple different voices, and to me, I find that entertaining. It helps keep me entertained while I'm watching and learning from his tutorials. Yeah, he's number one on this list because after finding his channel, I should say, and following his instruction, and I even went so far as to buy all 3 of his Mastering Manga series. I'm not sponsored, by the way, YouTube. I'm just promoting this dude. I noticed a drastic improvement in my art. Now, I have a lot of how to draw manga books. The stunted growth of my skill is not any reflection on these manga books. I didn't read them. I just looked at the pictures and stupidly thought, I'm just going to absorb through osmosis, or not osmosis, diffusion. I'm just going to get all this fucking shit by looking at the pictures. And no, you've got to read your books too. You can't just, maybe you can, but I can't. Just, it's good to read the books as well as looking at the pictures. And for me, because I kind of could read his text with his voice in my head when I was going through the books, that to me helped me make the connection to actually read through what he'd written, which is, what you should do anyway with the how to draw book. But yeah, I feel... I'm not a great artist, obviously, but I feel like I have shown great improvement, and I will hopefully continue to do so. But I can attribute most of this growth to Mark Crilley and the 4 other channels that I mentioned today. Because really, obviously I had art teachers, but I'm so far removed from that, from college, and I never took illustration anyway, so I had the regular drawing courses, but I was never able to hone my skills to the level that I should have been able to. So, but yeah, now I watch a lot of art YouTube channels, and I mention a lot of different ones in various videos of mine, so I encourage you all to check out some of those YouTubers if you happen to be watching some of my past catalog of videos and you hear someone get name dropped. Maybe check them out because they might interest you, or at least watch one video or a start of a video. And maybe if you are an artist out there, or if you just like to be entertained and watch people do art, maybe you'll find a channel that you enjoy by doing that. I shared my top 5. Now I want to hear from you all. Question of the week: what are your top 5 favorite YouTube art channels? Art focused channels? Because maybe if there's something I haven't seen yet, you might be able to suggest a channel to me that I would enjoy, and we can all enjoy their content together, but not really together because I won't necessarily know if you watch the video. It'll be together in spirit. Thank you, patrons. Your support helps me financially and it gives me motivation. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Honest to God, I really appreciate it. Anyone who wants to donate once or even become a patron or subscribe star person, I don't know what to call them yet, a subscribe star, I guess. You will find those links, all that stuff down below. My shop's down there too, if you're interested. Not able or willing to do that? That's fine. That's your prerogative. I take likes, subs, and notification rings too. So viewers like you also help support and build morale, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Until next week, peace and love, fare you well, and keep on trucking.